How's it going, everybody? I'm the big guy. Welcome to Wrestling Made Simple. We got the news of the week this week, followed by a SmackDown and Raw review. Then, of course, we have a classic pay-per-view review. We will be going back to the Royal Rumble 2014, followed by your wrestling drink of the week, and then a reading from the Book of Rules, followed by everyone's favorite, the Battle Droid of the Week. Well, let's get into it with your news this week, as Mustafa Ali has requested his WWE release. He says he has a much bigger message and much bigger dreams for pro wrestling, and despite his best efforts, he will not be able to deliver this message in WWE, so he has formally requested his release. Now, WWE does not need to grant him a release, but they probably will, as they're trying to cut as much budget as they can. I don't know why. Apparently, the rumor is they are trying to sell off all WWE stock and sell it to someone like NBC, Fox, or Disney. So that needs to be visited on later, but Mustafa Ali has requested his release. And now in other news, we go to Roman Reigns breaking a major WWE record, as he is the longest reigning WWE Universal Champion. That is right, Roman Reigns has broken a record set by Brock Lesnar. He is 504 days as Universal Champion. Brock Lesnar's former record 503 after winning it from Goldberg at WrestleMania and losing it to Roman Reigns at SummerSlam in 2018. Roman Reigns would then have to vacate the title due to a leukemia diagnosis, and Seth Rollins would then win it back from Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 35, where he would then lose it to The Fiend in Super Showdown. Roman Reigns would win it later on the year. So, been a turbulent time for the Universal Championship, but congratulations to Roman Reigns for setting a huge record at 504 days. And finally, your last big story this week. Cody Rhodes is a free agent. That is right, he is no longer technically under contract with AEW. It has been reported that Cody Rhodes has been working as a free agent for All Elite Wrestling. He will probably re-sign, as he is the executive vice president, but no contract talks have been in the works at all for Cody Rhodes. So this could be something big. With the Forbidden Door being open in WWE, could we see a Cody Rhodes appearance at the Royal Rumble? Probably not. I'm not putting my money on it at all. Cody Rhodes will probably re-sign with AEW. I mean, there's no question in my head he's going to re-sign. But wouldn't it be cool just to hear Cody Rhodes' old theme when he was dashing, or like when he was making his run with the tag team champions with his brother? That would be cool to see. That would be cool to see him come back. He probably won't, but it'd be fun. And that is your news this week, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move on to your SmackDown review for tonight. The Usos kicked off by announcing there will be a fatal four-way match to determine the next challengers to their SmackDown Tag Team Championships, and it will be between the Viking Raiders, Los Lotharios, Cesaro, and Mansoor, and Jinder Mahal and Shanky. And this was actually a very good fatal four-way match. It was a really cool way to kick off SmackDown, to really start to get the ball rolling for the Royal Rumble in other than World Championship news. Because they're probably going to add an Intercontinental Championship and a United States Championship title match there. You're probably going to get another Raw Tag Team Championship match, which we will get to in my Raw review. Not looking forward to that one. And then we will have probably a SmackDown. No, we won't have a SmackDown Women's Championship because Charlotte is competing in the Royal Rumble. So, the Viking Raiders actually won this match after a hard-fought fatal four-way. It was really one that I was really looking at going, okay, this is what tag team wrestling is supposed to be. Because you could really feel in AEW they focus more on tag team wrestling, while in WWE it is more basically building singles competitors. So that's something you really need to look differently for WWE AEW. And this is always one that I really did enjoy. Unfortunately, the New Day would not be a part of this as Xavier Woods is injured and will be out for a while. So Viking Raiders win this, and after which we get a Naomi and Sonya Deville asking. It was a segment where Naomi finally just asked, "Why the fuck do you hate me? What have I done to you? What have I made happen that you just hate me?" And Sonya finally said she just showed up with main character vibes when everybody knows she's just an extra. She threatened to fine her, fire her, or remove her from the Royal Rumble if she did not leave her alone. And Naomi would leave the room while Adam Pearce would come in and say, "Wow, it's really hot in here." Sonya Deville would say, "Yeah, it is. We need to get someone in here to fix the thermostat." I don't know why they did this, but it made more sense going on later in the night. After this, we got Sami Zayn declaring his entry in the Royal Rumble, saying that anything Johnny Knoxville can do, he could do better, and wanted to prove this with his own stunt show. He pretended to jump in a shopping cart over a ramp, but he did not, and he just said that was stupid, and instead he faced off with Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs, and they took Sammy out. They both beat the living shit out of him. I imagine that's going to be your Intercontinental Championship match at the Royal Rumble. It's going to be Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura, Rick Boogs at ringside, and I think they're finally going to take the title off of Sami Zayn. They're finally going to take the title off of Shinsuke Nakamura and put it on Sami Zayn. My mistake. After this, we got Aaliyah versus Natalya in a roll-up. This was... Natalya is really getting into her new gimmick as she's carrying a Guinness World Record book to the ring to show she is the woman who has competed the most ever in WWE history. She is going to beat the shit out of Aaliyah, get another win, and continue to have a great career. Although she beat the shit out of Aaliyah before the bell, and unfortunately, it didn't work out very well for Natalya after the bell rang. Aaliyah really just speared Natalya, rolled her up, 1, 2, 3. The announcer announced that it was 3.17 seconds for Aaliyah to beat Natalya. I thought that was very funny. It would have been even funnier if it was 3.16. How did WWE miss that? That would have been fucking hilarious. You could have got Aaliyah 316. That would have been genius. But that is a fastest and shortest match in WWE history. No one's ever beaten that. The previous record was 4 seconds by The Rock at WrestleMania 32, where he beat Eric Rowan in 4 seconds with a rock bottom 1, 2, 3. Match ends. Fastest WrestleMania match ever. After this, we got Lita coming out to talk about her entry into the Royal Rumble, how she feels she has one more run left in her, and how she feels she can beat Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Charlotte Flair then came out, said Lita's too over the hill, she's done. She then hit Charlotte Flair with a twist of fate, and by the way, the announcers did call this a twist of fate, so they have no problem referencing the Hardys anymore, because there was for a while, they would not call it the twist of fate because that was Matt Hardy's move. So there was a while they wouldn't do it there, but now they have no problem calling it that. So I think that's pretty cool that they've finally decided, okay, well, Matt Hardy has really done something for this industry, so let's just give him the recognition it deserves. After this, we got a match between Sheamus and Ricochet. Sheamus really just destroyed Ricochet here. There was no question Sheamus was going to win this match from the very beginning of the bell, which sucks. I don't want them to use Ricochet as enhancement talent. I feel Ricochet is one of the best talents in the world. I have no question saying that. The guy can do things that I have never seen in the ring, whether it was in MLW, Ring of Honor, New Japan, Lucha Underground. Whenever he would go somewhere, he would perform his ass off. He really would go out there, not just for the fans, but it was like he was trying to prove to himself, yeah, I'm this good. So I think he deserves more than this. I truly believe that. After this, we got another backstage segment in which Adam Pearce left the office to go get someone to fix the thermostat. Sonya Deville actually took her jacket off. And this is when Naomi walked back in and said, oh, now you got the jacket off. Now it's going down. She was actually doing the claps, which I loved. I thought that was a very cool little thing to add into there. She was ready to beat the shit out of Sonya Deville when Adam Pearce came in and said, we're not doing this. No. Naomi, you get a rematch versus Charlotte Flair, and if you win, you will be number one contender. After this, we got Kofi Kingston in the ring talking about the injury to Xavier Woods, saying how he will be out for some time. But they need to have a Royal representative in the Royal Rumble, and that will be Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston will be in the Royal Rumble match. I'm so excited for this because, Kofi Kingston always has a cool save. Let's be honest. He's always one of the guys who's going to impress at the Royal Rumble. When Royal Rumble season comes around, Kofi becomes the man. He is the Undertaker of the Royal Rumble. He may not be undefeated, but damn it, the Royal Rumble's for Kofi Kingston. After this, we got a terrible segment with Madcap Moss coming out, making fun of Xavier Woods' injury, and he would defeat Kofi Kingston in a very quick match. And that's all I want to talk about that. After this, in the main event, we got a face-off between Roman Reigns and his Universal Championship challenge, Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins will challenge Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble. And this was a fun little segment. Seth Rollins said Roman Reigns can't beat him. He has never beaten him, and he never will. And at the Royal Rumble, he leaves Universal Champion. Meanwhile, Roman Reigns had the killer line of the fucking week, man. He looks at him and says, man, if I wanted to main event the Royal Rumble with the megastar, I would have called your wife. That was the segment where I'm like, okay, this is going to be a blood feud now. The Usos came out and tried to attack Rollins, but Rollins got the upper hand. He was able to get away. And Seth Rollins leaves to stand tall while Roman Reigns is in the ring, angry that his cousins interfered in the Shield matchup. And that was SmackDown this week. A very lackluster episode of SmackDown until the main event. And even there were a few great lines, but the rest of the lines were at best. They were eh. It was a C- SmackDown, I would say. After this, we now move on to your Raw review from last night's Raw. Okay, here we go. Raw kicked off with Becky Lynch in the ring, saying she's done Doudrop a favor. Doudrop didn't need to be versus her at the Royal Rumble, but she